Hey guys, DSLR Rookie here. My name's Tim, and today we're going to be checking out 6 things that you might want to know if you've just got yourself a DJI Ronin S gimbal. Let's get into it. Okay, so today's video, it's not a review, it's not a balancing tutorial. There's already plenty of stuff on YouTube like that. But what I wanted to do was go through some little things that I wish I'd known when I got my DJI Ronin S for the first day and opened it up at the box. So what about the Quickstart manual? DJI have put in a manual at the bottom of the box. In the cardboard section, you pull out the foam packing case, which is great. You open up the packing case, you look at all the gear and it's wonderful, and then you go, oh, where are the instructions? It's not in the foam case, it's in the bottom of the cardboard case. So you just need to pull out a little wallet out the bottom, and there you go, you've got some quick start instructions. You're going to want to get on the DJI website and check out their videos. They've got stuff on how to balance the gimbal, how to set it up, how to update the firmware, that kind of stuff. It's really important that you check that stuff out, and I'll put a link below so you can find that. So for some reason, when I was setting up the gimbal for the very first time, I hadn't figured out to do the vertical test, which is basically pointing the camera directly upwards and allowing it to swing to see if it's balanced for the tilt axis. I'd moved it forward and backward and jiggled the base plate part, but I hadn't put it into the vertical position. So don't forget to do that, that's important. So one thing I found was that when I was trying to adjust the roll axis, was that the cradle arm was getting a bit stiff, and it's because of the weight of the camera and the lens twisting it. So if you gently, slightly twist the arm up when you're sliding it, it just really helps you move it. You don't need to force it, you shouldn't be straining anything, but basically, yeah, it's the weight of the camera that's stopping it slide smoothly. So basically I found the recharging instructions really confusing, and the question I had was, how do I know when it's fully charged? The information you get from DJI tells you how to charge it, but I just didn't know when it was finished. So basically there's 4 indicators that show you the battery level, and they'll flash as it's charging. So if it's only halfway charged, there's only going to be 2 of those lights flashing. 3/4 of the way, 3 of the lights flashing. When it's almost done, 4 of the lights will be flashing. And then when it's finished, I think all of those lights go out and it's just there's no lights on. So once all 4 green lights have gone out, you know it's fully charged. Job done. Now call me stupid, but the next problem I had was trying to figure out how to turn the power off on the lower handle. So you've got 2 power switches. There's one at the higher end of the gimbal near where your operating joystick is, to the right of that. But there's a lower power switch right at the bottom of the battery hand grip. So when you finish using the gimbal, you want to turn it off. So for some reason I couldn't figure out how to turn off the lower hand grip, but there's a little sticker on the bottom which tells you how to do it, and I hadn't noticed that at first. So it's tap it quickly and then immediately hold it for 2 seconds and let go, and it should power down. But I found that really tricky to do at the start for some reason, so yeah. Check out the sticker on the bottom. So the 4th problem I had, and it really worried me at the time, was the 3 modes on there. So I'd balanced the gimbal, I'd powered it up, and started using it, and there's 3 modes, and I couldn't figure out what the modes were for, and I couldn't find anything in the box to tell me what it meant. So I did some research afterwards online, and I think what it is when it comes out of the box, it's got 3 speed modes. So the first mode, the motors move slowly, so you get slow cinematic movements. So that's like the gentlest movements. And if you put it in mode 2 and then in mode 3, basically the motors would speed up for each one until 3 is your fastest, and so the gimbal will be more responsive. If you were turning to pan it, it would respond quicker. Which, okay, that's what it was. But I wanted to be able to have like the pan follow mode like you have on a Xeon Crane 2. If you twist it from side to side, the camera will pan, but if you move the arm down like a boom, the camera keeps level. I didn't want the camera to tilt down or to tilt up. There are times when that's handy, but basically I wanted it to be able to keep level so I can use it like a crane system, but I can also pan with it from side to side. If any of you know how to do that, how to customize that with the app, please make a YouTube video and post it on there, because I could not find one. But never fear, because lo and behold, in the firmware update, DJI had changed the modes. So whoopie-doo, the first mode will allow the camera to tilt up and down, but the second mode, when you put it in mode 2, it got my pan follow mode that I was after, which was brilliant, because basically then I could do what I wanted, and that's fab. Well done, DJI. I still don't know what mode 3 is. I haven't really played with it that much. If anyone really understands modes, let's stick a YouTube video on there so you can explain it for others, because I haven't got my head around it yet. But yeah, mode 2 with the firmware update, and works for me. The first weekend was just get it set up, get it working, and then start to play with it so I could learn how to use a gimbal. We got some basic stuff, and that was great. The next thing I wanted to do was to try vlogging with it. Now, I've only got a 24mm lens at the widest, so that's not ideal, but I tried it out quickly, and I wanted to try it with the microphone on. Now, I know the DJI Ronin S can handle a lot of weight, okay? It's great, it's got a heavy payload, motors are strong, wonderful. But, I tried using it with the Videomic Pro Plus from Rode, and yeah, it's a big microphone, there's a fair bit of weight to it, not massive amount, but it changes the centre of gravity for balancing everything, and it's quite bulky. Now the problem I had was I couldn't get it balanced properly in the upright position for the tilt motor. So you got to tilt the camera up and try and balance it so it doesn't fall forwards or backwards. The problem is with the Rode Videomic Pro Plus is that it's so big that when you try and do that vertical balance, it starts to hit the cradle, which is not ideal. Now I tried it again today, and I did a better job than I did when I tried vlogging with it, but basically it's just really difficult to balance with a big microphone on top. So yeah, I wouldn't really recommend using the Rode Videomic Pro Plus for vlogging with the DJI Ronin S. What I would recommend is getting a smaller mic. We might have more about that in another episode, but yeah, just don't use a big bulky mic on top. The other problem I had wasn't just the balancing it, but was also I was using it on a day when it was really windy, and it's like a big sail on top of your camera. So yeah, with a really strong wind, it was just messing it about so much, and I just got frustrated, unplugged it. I also tried plugging in a lav mic. I haven't got a radio one, so it was with a wire, and that went down my sleeve on my jacket and then over to the camera, and it wasn't a good setup. And then when you try and put it in selfie mode or the normal mode and the gimbal spins the camera around, the cable gets in the way and it's just too much hassle. So yeah, solution, you know what, get a smaller mic just for vlogging. If you use a base plate on the bottom of your camera for something like a viewfinder, like the camera QV1, or if you're using it for a sling strap, or like an Arca Swiss plate that clips into a harness. So if you're always leaving a plate on the bottom of your camera, make sure it's screwed in tight. It's no good having the DJI Ronin S base plate screwed on tight onto a plate that's going to wobble a bit. It happened to me once, and it was really annoying because I couldn't figure out what was going wrong. Not only do you get a bit of movement in the camera, which you didn't really want, you know, an accidental movement. The problem is, especially with a bigger, longer zoom lens, heavier too, is that if it twists at all, it changes the centre of gravity, so it changes the balancing, and it can cause problems for your gimbal. So yeah, basically, don't do it, guys. Last point, I'm really sorry that the lights changed a little bit. I was using a light for a bit of fill light here, and the battery's gone and I can't plug it in now, so yeah, sorry about that. Ran out of time. Lesson is chop, speed up. Basically, I love my DJI Ronin S. I love gimbals. One of the things that excited me about getting into video in the first place were these smooth camera movements, and having a gimbal just allows you to do so much more and get creative with that. Now, I've got a lot to learn about how to do that, and how to get the most out of a gimbal, but they are brilliant. And once you've got the hang of balancing them, which is not too bad actually, it doesn't take too long, once you've got that nailed, using it is just makes things so much easier, and you can get such smooth, great shots without much practice at all. Now, practice, let's get better, absolutely, but yeah, they are great, they're fun to use, kid could use them once they're balanced. Really good, highly recommend them. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you liked it. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more stuff. I'm going to keep trying to put out some decent content that's helpful. give me some feedback. Let me know how useful it is. And yeah, I'll see you next time with DSLR Rookie. See you guys.